Hello there. Well, I woke up this morning and this is the worst I've felt in a very, very long time. Probably going all the way back toward April. Or I don't even know how to describe what I feel like. I can't even. The hypersensitivity from the CRPS is just crazy this morning. I woke up with a headache and I just don't even want to go into all that, run down all the physical symptoms. My God, I thought maybe I don't really have anyone to talk to, so I thought maybe I could talk myself into trying to make the most out of this day. Drink some coffee, and I don't know if you ever wake up, fellow benzo folks, and you feel like this is it. I can't do this. It's too much. That's me this morning. I mean, yesterday I had a therapy session um, with a person that comes to my house, and I was recounting all the bullshit that fell upon me in the last few months while I'm trying to taper, and I was like, well, you got to admit that's funny because I'm trying to do one of the most difficult things in the world, and that's to get off of a benzo once you're physically dependent upon it. And a hole in my house I'm living in turns into a meth depot, and she did say, yeah, if looking at that from the outside, that's you know absurdity is the root of most comedy, and that is an absurd damn thing to have that happen to you, you know. And this whole thing, frankly, has been a clusterfuck from the beginning. It's like I had made up my mind that I wanted to get off of Xanax. I had tasted withdrawal, never protracted withdrawal, but I had tasted withdrawal, and I'm like, look, I didn't like the idea of a doctor having that kind of power over me that, I'm a signature away from hell, is the way I put it as succinctly as possible. It's like if you don't sign that script on time, I am a complete gigantic sack of misery. And I'm like, I can't have that. And it's like today I have to make my call in to get my next prescription of that poison. But yeah, so I had decided way back in February that enough of this crap. I had tasted withdrawal for 48 to 50 hours in January, and then in February I'm like, I the next time I had to get a script after that, I'm like, suppose this guy does this crap to me again, and I hadn't stockpiled, and I was like, I hate feeling like that, where like that powerlessness. So I'm like, I'm gonna quit this stuff, but I know I got a pretty serious thing going on with a necrotic tooth, and I'm like, okay, I want to wait till after that because I can't go into withdrawal and then have to deal with getting oral surgery, and that could go either way. It could go well or it could go not so well, and it's a big anxiety thing. I'm one of those people, and there's plenty of us out there don't like the dentist. Dentists make me nervous. So, and I got to get an oral surgery. So I'm like, well, I'll get my oral surgery done and then I'll start on my taper. What's my doctor do? He decides I don't get to decide. So he just, instead of 60 pills, prescribes me 30 about 25 days before I have to get my oral surgery. And I'm kicking ass in April. I'm like, okay, the first couple weeks at 50%, I am a miserable son of a bitch, man. I cannot move. I cannot watch TV. I can't even do anything to distract myself from my misery. I don't want to eat. I'm eating like yogurt out of these tubes that somebody bought me, like Go-Gurt or something. I don't know. It's about the only thing I was eating. So I lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks. I went from like 185 to 173, and I'm 6'1", so that's a significant weight loss. And I had the flu on top of it. Hooray for me. So I got the flu, I got the CRPS, and I got a tolerance withdrawal at 50% starting in March. and waiting for an appointment to get oral surgery in April. So I'm like, well, the hell with this. I can't trust this guy if he's going to do this kind of crap. So I'm going to go and drop it another 25%. If I can survive 50%, I can survive another 25%. So I start doing that, and of course I'm miserable. I'm not in bed like the first 2 weeks at 50% reduction. I'm in bed. I am just laying there like a dead man, not even able to watch TV. So, but I'm actually able to move around and watch TV and do a little bit of housework and stuff at 25% after only like 4 weeks, 3 weeks. No, actually, it was 3 weeks. So that's like, I don't know, 5 to 7 days before the appointment was coming up. So yeah, 3 weeks. Then I go into the appointment, and of course I can't. I got to travel to another city with people I don't know, get dropped off in this new place, new people, new everything. And I'm like, of course I can't do that in the state of withdrawal where a fly buzzing around you can destroy your freaking mental well-being. Anything, just everything bothers you. So I was like, I can't do that. So I got to updose. So I updose. I get through the surgery. I get the tooth pulled, and then I kindled myself. And then I'm like, okay, I got to fight back down. While I'm fighting back down to get to where I was before, because I didn't updose all the way back up to a milligram, because I'm not a complete idiot despite apparent appearances. So I don't let myself updose all the way up to a milligram a day. So I'm like doing 50, and I'm doing like 3/4 and a half, and I'm fighting back down to a quarter, and I get back down to a quarter, and I start to notice drug deals taking place, in this. I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but it has something to do with the building. So I'm fighting back down to a quarter, and then this place turns into a meth depot. A meth cookhouse opens up across the street, and there goes my taper again. So I have death threats. If anybody this is the first time you're seeing me, you can go back and look at the stories. I don't want to bore anybody that's been staying with me through this whole thing and going through all that. But that's the basic pattern I had, is they didn't let me control the situation. So of course it went south. The 50% reduction, which I didn't ask for, and then I start to taper down, and then I got to go back up to get through oral surgery, and then it kindles me, and it takes me a while to drop back down. And almost immediately after the oral surgery, I gave somebody my email, and I struck up a friendship with somebody else who was suffering from a different benzo, Ativan, and they turned abusive on me, and that threw me into some kind of weird tailspin. And I'm like, that didn't help. That doesn't help when you're like I was explaining in another video where I was wearing this red shirt. It's like emotionally you're just so raw that something like that can mess you up real bad. So yeah, that messed me up, because I felt bad, because I had to tell this person, look, I can't talk to you anymore. I mean, I'm not in a position to help you, and I can't have anybody abusing me like that. And saying those things to me, it's going to make me sick. And it did make me sick. So anyways, that's what happened. I get dropped off at 50%, which wasn't according to my plan. Oral surgery, had to hike it back up. Hiked it back down. Meth house opens. Got to go back up. And I start to go back down. And then after the meth people are gone and finally evicted, I still can't sleep right, because I'm just stuck in a state of hyper alertness, and I got like I said, somebody from my some nurse from my insurance provider was like said I'd have PSTD, or is it PTD, whatever it's, post traumatic stress disorder. She said I'd have that. I'm messed up. This is not. It's just so hard. I mean, I don't know how you people do it, and I don't know how I'm gonna get through the day. when you wake up and you feel like that, like you don't want to even get through the next minute. I got a whole day ahead of me, you know, and then start having stupid thoughts like okay, I got that. I'll praise them right there. Maybe it'll work. I know it won't work. Part of my mind knows that ain't gonna do nothing for me. It's just gonna make me worse. I just have to feel this way, and I just have to find some way to fight through feeling this way. And this is why I'm on here talking. It's like I have to find some way to fight through this, and I can't wake up. I can't wake and bake. I can't wake up. That's the only thing I got. I took some ibuprofen. I woke up with a splitting headache, and it's taken a little bit of the edge off the headache at least. But I don't even want to go and run down on the way I feel. I feel bad from my head to my toes, man. That's why I, I I'm so hypersensitive. I can't even wear a shirt because I got that deal with my stomach. I don't eat. I don't even want to put an ace bandage on it. So technically, I'm not breaking what I said, which was I'd be sitting up and wearing a shirt from now on when you saw me. But yeah, this is. I'm just like waiting for the next thing. You know, it's like, and I'm on the phone with my brother. Calls me. He had a nice day, and I'm on the phone with my brother, and he's telling me some stuff. You know, and it's like he's not hearing what I'm. You know, I just told him I was like I'm as bad as I can be, and he just like moves on. Yeah, you can't blame people for being the way they are, but you know, I don't. That's why I have to do this. I have to console myself and, and look at myself in the mirror, basically, when I'm looking at myself in the camera and saying, "You can do this." You know, it's not that bad. You've been through stuff like this before. It's just that one day, because I don't have people that'll be like, you know, I know you're going through something really hard, blah blah blah, and say all the nice things to you. I don't have that. Then like a week ago, I'm talking on the internet to this individual, and getting to know him a little bit, and the guy just didn't like the fact that I wasn't taking his advice or listening to what he said as gospel or whatever the hell his motivations were for being like that. I never called him a name. I never said nothing to him. And this guy goes on a tirade, you know. It's just, uh, I was trying to help the dude. The dude's uh, uh, on, I think he said 2 milligrams of Xanax a day, and he was been on it for 6 years. He's told me he was thinking about quitting. Now I don't know if I'm outing the guy or whatever, but you know, he's the guy that wrote the stuff in a public forum. He can take his own post down. You know, he's had time to do that. So yeah, if I'm like outing somebody or committing some kind of faux pas or something, what the fuck ever, you know. But I made that video where I said, man, you don't say that stuff to people that are in a benzo withdrawal. They don't need to hear your critique of their personality, and they don't need to hear your insults and stuff. You know, and that stuff doesn't. It's different when you open yourself up to somebody and you're vulnerable and you stick your neck out. You're trying to help them, and then somebody acts like that. That's different than just a troll popping on your video. Like I had a guy pop on one of my videos and just say, "Just quit being weak." You know, you're a weak person, and just some stranger criticizing me. That's nothing. That doesn't mean anything. But if you open yourself up and you try to help somebody and you're honest and you share yourself with them, and then they do that shit, then that's different, you know. But even just popping on a video and just randomly being a jerk off kid or whatever, and troll and just saying bad stuff, even that, people really shouldn't do that either. But as far as me personally, that has no effect on me at all. But yeah, that had a bad effect on me, the thing with that guy, because he's got no clue what he's in for, you know. It's like I could have come back at him and, uh, fought fire with fire, went down to his level, and, you know, But I didn't do that because it's not healthy for me, and I feel bad for the guy in advance if he tries to quit, because he's going to have mornings like this or worse, where it's hard to breathe, and the amount of suffering you feel, you can't even put a number on it. And you just have to, tell yourself that it might even get better today. It got worse yesterday throughout the day, and it might get better today. So all you concentrate on is getting through. It's so cliche, but it's the truth. Is getting through minute to minute, hour to hour, and then trying to get through the day. And expression is always better than repression. So um, that's what I'm trying to do, is make myself feel better. I don't know. Uh, Talking, they have that talk therapy and stuff. I talked to a 25-year-old, you know, that in the words of one biblical character or another, she has a hedge built around her. You know, I think it's from the book of Job or something like that, where thou hast to build a hedge around this person, because meaning that they got a good life. Of course they're going to be they're going to be thankful and happy and whatever. They got a good life. They haven't suffered, but let's see what happens when they suffer. And that's like, I got a 25-year-old that's not a whole lot of life experience, being 25, and they've had a good life and happy, healthy person. How are they going to relate to me? The things I've been through, you know. So I talk to her and she listens. And after I'm done talking to her, all I can think about is like, man, the stuff I talked about is like, why did that even happen? I mean, it couldn't have been much worse. I'm going through like a horrible a benzo withdrawal thing, and I'm fighting like a bastard through it, and then like cops start coming here like mad in June. A meth trade opens up. There's a cookhouse across the street. I got death threats. I'm confronting people, and I'm calling police. It's like I'm doing all this stuff in freaking withdrawal. You start to think yeah, what gigantic shit is the universe going to take on me tomorrow? And then I wake up today and just feeling like this. It is insanely difficult. I mean, it was difficult for me to get up, get a cup of coffee, half-ass put a shirt on and a hat, set the computer on my lap, and talk. You know, just doing that, it just was an act of will. I actually sat up in the bed and I laid back down, and then I sat up again, and it actually took me a couple of times just to get out of bed and try. And right now, like yesterday, I took half a milligram of Xanax. I had planned on taking a quarter milligram and then taking doxycycline to try to help me sleep. So I ended up taking a quarter milligram and waiting like 3 hours and just feeling like having like suicidal thoughts and stuff. Like, I just don't want to do this. I mean, it's just too hard, and the universe seems to be against me anyway. So why do I want to even try this? Why do I even want to go through this? And then I have to remind myself of the reasons. And the reasons are other people. And even the people that are not supportive to me, is like, I don't want to hurt other people. And I would like to, I have a feeling of like incompletion too. Like I'm supposed to be, there's like something I'm supposed to do. Like I'm not ready to leave the mortal coil yet. I think that's nice and religiously neutral. I'm not ready to pass on to whatever the next stage is. If it's going back, if it's nothingness, like the atheists believe, or if it's going back to the essence, like some other folks believe, or if it's going to get my reward and to be judged like other people believe, or whatever the next thing is. I was like, I don't feel like I feel like I'm supposed to do something before that happens. But it would be nice to get a break and not have not have a bunch of crap thrown on me all the time, you know. And I almost fell like taking out the garbage yesterday. I was just dragging out some cardboard boxes that were in the hallway. I had already asked the landlord to take out my garbage, which was humiliating the day before because I'm walking that bad. And then I was like, well, take out these cardboard boxes out of the hallway myself. And I did it, and I almost fell over. I can barely walk. It's like, you know, I know, boo hoo hoo. People are always like that. They're always like, yeah, buddy, everybody's got problems, you know. And I was taught that at a very early age, that laugh and the world laughs with you, and bitch and moan and the world don't want to fucking hear it. There's a bastardization of the famous quote. But yeah, it's like people aren't particularly, well, that's because so many people abuse the privilege, you know, and they try to like play on people for sympathy, and you know, people's eyes start to glaze over when somebody's like complaining about their physical ills and whatnot. And I have respect for you, so I'm not going to show you what my legs look like, or you know, the actual physical proof that I am one messed up dude, because that would just be rude and gross. And just to go into all my problems with, I just don't do that, because I just think that would be rude, and I think that people are just conditioned. There's so many people in the world, and there's so many people that use that, play that sympathy card, like you know, try to play on people's emotions and manipulate them and stuff like that. I go the other way. I alienate people and make them dislike me, because I prefer that to people saying, "Oh, you poor thing, blah, blah, blah. Come here, let me help you." And there's something wrong with me there. I'll admit that. Where I would prefer, like, I prefer contempt and scorn to pity and that insincere type of compassion that you get sometimes, that some people suck up like mother's milk. And the people that do that are what makes it hard for people that are suffering through ordeals to express it, because you get that thing from people where they're like, you know, yeah, buddy, everybody's got problems. Yeah, it's 22 minutes. I said I was gonna keep my video shorter. I don't, you know how it would probably take me too long to talk my way out of this mess, emotional mess. You know, trying to figure out some reason to think that things will get better, and to think that the next thing won't come along when I'm doing good on my taper and just wipe me out. And well, I haven't talked about this, but one of the most key people in my life has to have open heart surgery coming up, which I just found out about 2 days ago. And they might not make it. I shouldn't even be thinking about that. But they got a bad health history and stuff. They're not in good shape. Haven't gone through something like that before, where you have to sit and wait for a serious surgery. There's nothing like that. I had to wait 6 months when I was a teenager, when I was getting my spinal reconstruction, because I went in and I was not exactly pumped to go through halo traction, spinal fusion, and all the crap I was going through, but I was prepared for it. I actually had played basketball and ran around a basketball court for a couple hours. I was in really good physical shape too, and I went in for my surgery when I was 18 years old, and they told me, "You got mononucleosis. You got mono. We can't operate on anybody with any kind of compromised things, so we're going to have to reschedule your surgery for 4 months later. So I had 4 months to think about it. And then 4 months later, I was a wreck. I didn't go in there confident like the time went, like when I had mono. I think they got I felt great. I think they got my test results mixed up or something, because I felt great. But what I'm saying is, like, I can totally empathize with the person that's going to get this open heart surgery thing, because I was going through a unbelievable I knew I was going to go through something unbelievably physically traumatic and life-threatening ahead of time. And when you have to sit, you got that hanging over you. You know, there's nothing. I never experienced nothing like. I shouldn't say there's nothing like that, because I haven't experienced everything, but I've never experienced nothing like that. And while we're talking about experiences, as far as the experience of benzo withdrawal, I've had my spine reconstructed. I've had screws drilled into my head while I was conscious. I've had physical torture like you wouldn't believe. And benzo withdrawal, it's right up there with them. It's not like, you know, getting your rib cut out and getting spinal reconstruction and getting a metal rod put in your back and getting halo traction and all the shit I've been through is here. And benzo withdrawal is like way down here. It's like, no, benzo withdrawal is right up there, right around that. That's how bad it is. If anybody's watching this that doesn't know that. And the emotional aspects of it are really different too. I mean, the other thing, yeah, you got some emotional suffering with it, but the emotional suffering with this is just, it's unbelievable. It's like I said, just having some random guy call me a bunch of names and, you know, attack my character or whatever, just kind of like threw me in a tailspin for a couple of days. I didn't actually eat that day. I didn't eat until I was ready to go to sleep. And because your emotions are so raw with this, and you have your calming neurotransmitter disruption that goes all the way through your body. Those receptors are all through your body. And I don't, you know, my powers of description probably fall woefully short when it comes to even describing what that's like. So, this is just a bad morning. That's all this is. And frankly, I hope you don't hear from me too often, because, like I said in the last one, I make my videos, generally speaking, because I need to. Because I need to do my own talk therapy and work my way through it. And yeah, I tell funny stories and, you know, try to have a good time while I'm doing it. But that's what I'm doing, is I'm doing my own talk therapy, because some 25-year-old sitting on top of the world person with a healthy body is not going to get the job done, as far as understanding my deal and the will that it takes to keep going. I don't even want to go into all that. Like, it's just, I have the CRPS, so if the universe will cooperate and will not dump too much crap on me, when I get through this and when I'm off of benzos, I don't have a whole hell of a lot to look forward to. Today I was looking forward to working on some audiobook stuff, and I don't know if I'm up to doing that. The edginess and the rawness is just, it's too much. I mean, the best I can do is just keep the memorize the papers that I want to read as an audiobook. Oh yeah, I bought, like, since we're coming up on a 30-minute mark, and I bought a hourglass. So I'm gonna keep doing these videos, because I just enjoy talking, and they help me. If they help you listening to me, I don't know why that would be, but that's awesome. I'm gonna keep doing them. and through this whole process. But I bought an hourglass. That's a half-hour hourglass. So at the beginning of my little chats with y'all, put the hourglass. And then when the sand runs out, I have to stop. So I'm going to count this one down and make this one exactly 30 minutes. Because I think if I had 2 hours of your time, I don't think I could talk my way out of the hellish day I have set before me. I can only hope it gets better, and hope I make it through. It's only I got up at 5, and it's only 7:27, and it's just getting light out around here. So we'll see if I can make this go off right at the 30-minute mark. And I will see you in a couple of days, probably.